Michael, we are live and the sound is working fine.
And the sound is working fine.
My headphones.
It's always good when the sound works fine since it's a podcast.
Exactly, much better. How are you, Michael?
Is the video working as well?
Everything is working fine. No problem
Perfect.
at all today.
How was your weekend?
Doing great, Michael. How was your weekend?
Superb.
Superb, okay.
Really superb.
Did you go play with the water?
I did not. I will not.
You will not
And
do
no
things.
one will play with the water with me because they know better. Anyway. Hello and welcome to AGTP Daily. This is the show that goes live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Eastern Time, yep.
To discuss the most important tech stories in the U.S., today is Monday, the 13th of April, 2026. As always, there's a lot to get to. Martin, let's get right to it. We want to talk about, look, there's some important stuff going on.
There's like some really important things to talk about today.
Yeah,
right?
some
like
really
what
important things to talk about.
In the last few days.
Yeah.
So the first topic that we wanted to talk about today was the attack on
Sam
Altman's home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you want me to like run you through like what happens, like the timeline first of all? So
Yeah, why don't
everybody
you run
has-
through this?
has the
But
information?
I want to, yeah, go for it. And then I want to make a through
Yeah.
line to something else
Okay.
that happened a while ago. But
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So that's the news that you may have missed, right? So
Yeah.
let me like first of all walk you through the timeline. First of all, on Friday, April 11th, okay, so Friday last week, around 3:45 a.m., a 20-year-old man threw a Molotov cocktail at Sam Altman's home in San Francisco.
Did you know what a Molotov cocktail was?
Yeah, of course. But so it caused no damage. Okay, no one was injured. The suspect was arrested as well, and that suspect had also made threats at OpenAI headquarters.
But this is at 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah, 3:45.
What are you doing?
Throwing Molotov cocktails
Molotov cocktails.
at people's house.
It's not funny. But yeah, but
No,
but
no,
I
no, no,
want to
no.
point out that it's 3:45 in the morning because it takes an extreme coward to do something at 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So that's the first thing that happened. Then the second thing, on Sunday, April 13th, so yesterday at 1:40 a.m., so in the night from Saturday to Sunday, a car drove past Sam Altman's house
A bunch of times.
and shots were fired.
But they had actually driven by because if you think about Sam Altman's house, right, there are
Let me check if I can have a picture here.
there are cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Right, there are surveillance cameras everywhere. He's a very famous man,
Yeah.
and he's also very wealthy. We don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And the property that he bought, if my numbers that I looked at were correct today, somewhere between $35 and $40 million, because he
wow.
bought the main house
Okay.
and then bought some surrounding properties as well
Yeah,
to make it even bigger. And one of the reasons why these guys do that is they just want to be protected,
for sure.
right? They want to create a buffer between them, and this is the reason why. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
mean, yeah, this is exactly the reason why, right? So it's, I mean, yeah.
But also, can I just say one more thing too, and then
Yeah.
you can keep going.
Yeah.
In between the first incident, the Molotov cocktail guy,
Yeah.
that coward, and the second team of people, because it was two guys in a
Yeah.
car, right, who
It was
drove by.
different people, and there's
Two
no
completely different
information
people,
about, like,
unrelated.
if they are related to each other.
Unrelated
Like,
completely.
we don't know, right?
We
Like,
don't
there's
know. But those guys did drive around the neighborhood
Okay.
and then pick a time to do it.
Yeah.
But in between that, Sam, and we'll talk about this too,
Mm-hmm.
Sam Altman posted something
Yep.
himself. We'll get to that at the end, but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So no, actually, we can just draw that. Because then very quickly, the two people who drove past Sam Altman's house and then shot with the gun were both arrested as well. And they were charged with something that made me laugh, to be honest. Maybe because I'm not in the US, and so I don't.
Go for it.
I'm not American, so I'm not like used to this type of
Used to this
culture.
type of.
But they were charged with negligent discharge of a firearm. They shot someone's house, and they are charged with negligent discharge of a firearm. Like, what happened? Like, we have a gun like this, and he just shoot, or it fall down and he just shoot by
They
himself.
dropped it.
So so they say in the police report that it's unclear if the home was specifically targeted. The motive is also unknown, but
So they have to say that. I mean, and
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
we were talking about this before we started recording.
yeah,
But these legal terms are made up for a reason.
yeah. I think this is all legal stuff to protect the two people that that.
Well, it's really
things
to
happen.
protect potential criminals.
Yeah.
Remember the way
Yeah.
the U.S. legal system works is you're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Yeah.
So what are they going to charge these guys with? Attempted murder?
Yeah, true. It's true. Yeah.
And it's hard to even get to attempted murder because of the way Sam Altman's house or anybody in this neighborhood's house is set up. But to me, like, that's not the important part of this story.
Go ahead.
What's the important part of this story for you? I have my opinion, but go first.
So then he published the blog post
Yeah.
in between the two stories, right?
Right.
Do you want to go for the blog
I do want
post?
to go through the blog post
Okay.
because, first of all, I want to draw a through line, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
There was an article published in the New Yorker, right, called Sam Altman May Control Your Future, but Can He Be Trusted?
Yeah.
That was published on April 6th. And that was written by Ronan Farrow and Andrew Morantz. And apparently I listened to a whole show of those two guys talking about this.
Okay.
They did like 2 years worth of research on this.
Yeah.
They didn't just like think about it, publish an article. This is more just like a very short, condensed book.
Mm-hmm.
They spent a ton of time on this, right? And they wanted to get all the facts right. And, you know, we talked about this a few days ago, that it feels like there's a concerted effort to discredit Sam Altman.
Yep.
Part of it is the competitive landscape, right? And I always like to say, like, in the old days, before social media, these things were still happening. People would go onto TV and say things about people, but they weren't these organized communities that became organized online and then became organized offline. They were just individual actors playing, and they didn't know that another guy actually had the same thought that they had. So one of the powers of social media, I would say, not even for better or for worse, but for worse, is that now you feel like you're part of this much bigger group than just operating individually.
Yep.
Okay? And I don't think it's coincidental that the first guy that went out and threw the Molotov cocktail inspired the second guys to be like, I don't know, if people are attacking Sam Altman, maybe we should do the same thing.
Okay.
But more importantly, let's back up to December 4th, 2024 at 6:45 a.m., right, when Luigi Mangione literally shot the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, in the back.
That's true. True.
Okay, and I'm not saying that that's tech-related per se, but a lot of the things that United Healthcare does from a technology standpoint tries to make them more efficient and more productive, particularly when they go to pay claims. Right? So they're using technology to deny people claims. Allegedly is the story that was heard here. So I don't think there's a disconnect between what happened here. The only difference is that Brian was just much more vulnerable than Sam Altman, because Brian was walking down the street in Manhattan.
Which is maybe something Sam Altman does as well in San Francisco sometime.
Right, but also, so I want to connect those two things together. But if you see what Sam Altman posted, it's not even a picture of him. He's wearing a pair of shorts, he's wearing a polo shirt, he looks just like a regular guy. It's not full front face, so you can't see like whether he's happy or sad or whatever, but he's playing with his baby.
I think that's his husband. That's his husband and his baby, I think.
It could be his husband, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It might be. They look similar to me, right? So that's my mistake. But he says here, images have power.
Yeah.
Normally we try to be really private, but I'm showing you this photo in the hopes that it might stop the next person from thinking, I'm not human. And this is the big problem, is that when you do these ad hominem, right, personal attacks on people, I don't think Ronan Farrow, I want to get the name right, because I can never remember the other guy's name. Sorry, Andrew Morantz. But I don't think when they wrote this article, they wanted anything bad to happen. But I think it's really important for us, particularly because we have a platform, to say this, and that is, you can dislike anybody for the way they run their business. You can compete with them at the highest level, right? And you can be Machiavellian from a business perspective. You can trick them if you really think that that's going to help you in your business. But you can't shoot them.
No, I think this is off limits. Totally off limits.
But you can't, and
can't
I
do
don't
that,
want to underestimate like how important it is for us to say this.
Yeah. It's true.
This idea that like you can perpetuate violence on somebody because you disagree with the way they run their business. And I know there's a bigger story around artificial intelligence, right? That it's going to take away your job. And again, this is, I think, a mainstream media problem.
For sure.
If you literally go on Twitter, and we'll talk about this later in the show, but if you go on Twitter, for the people that really know what artificial intelligence is meant to do, how powerful it really is, and we've talked about this on almost all of our shows when we talk about AI, but frankly, when we talk about any sort of transformational technology, and that is that over time, every cycle, the media, because what's their job? Their job is to get attention. They don't care how they get attention.
And that's the problem.
This is the big problem, right? They don't care how they get attention.
Yep.
And they get attention by scaring you.
Yeah.
Okay? And I told you this, even when I was a little boy, Channel 4 News in New York, WNBC, we called it the slash and gash news. Okay? And I remember one story that they told I'm dead serious. This is not made up. They told a story about a guy who killed his girlfriend, chopped her up into pieces, made her into soup, and left it in the Port Authority. That was a news story. I'm not saying this to be funny at all, but I'm saying, like, why do I need to know that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What is the point of that being news?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly,
not
yeah.
news. It's gratuitous.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's gratuitous for them to publish it. Now, the article that Andrew Morantz and Ronan Farrow published, I don't think it's so gratuitous, but on top of everything else that's going on, and Ronan Farrow, a very well respected writer and a very good writer, okay? But what are they trying to accomplish?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Like, what's the goal here from them?
Because
right?
we talked about this a few days ago.
Yeah,
it feels like they're piling on.
It feels like it's orchestrated,
Exactly.
as we said, right?
Exactly.
There's not just one article. There's plenty of things that just show up right now, right?
And he
Like,
says
pop up
this
right
too.
now.
So in his
Yeah.
blog post, he says words have power too.
Yeah.
There was an incendiary,
Yeah.
which means
Yeah.
like really mean
Really
and
mean.
negative about me.
This article
A few days ago.
in the New Yorker, yeah.
And someone said to me yesterday they thought it was coming at a time of great anxiety about artificial intelligence and it made things more dangerous for me, but I brushed it aside. Here's the thing. I think overall, it's hard to generalize, but I think overall most people are good. But we know there are bad people out there. And we're creating incentives for them to do bad things. And we're giving them information that's going to not allow them, but that encourages them to do bad things. Because they want to be famous. Like, yeah, AI is bad. AI is going to have a negative impact on me and my family. The news is telling me I'm going to lose my job and tens of millions of people are going to lose their job.
Yeah.
And we're going to come to some apocalyptic space where nobody has work and robots are running everything and it's just going to be, a hellscape. What are we doing? Maybe I can be the guy that saves everybody if I can just kill the guy that runs the AI business. This is terrible.
It's a pretty... it's a very big shortcut, but for somebody who is outside the bubble that we live in, and because, as you said, like, the media definitely emphasize, but as we said last week, it has been like the main marketing message for AI since 5 years, right? Like, remember this article in 2019 from ChatGPT-2 that was saying,
so dangerous.
It's going to be so dangerous, right? GPT-2, guys.
I know.
Now we are GPT-5. And
but it was 7 years ago.
And that was 7 years
Nobody
ago.
died.
And nobody died, right?
Nobody died.
So that's why it's also, I think, because of these companies who are fueling the fire of this AI is so scary. There's also, and Fred is doing the same thing. Like, they are fueling the fire as well, right? The media are also fueling the fire. So I understand that a guy who's not in the bubble like us might be scared, and then as you just said, that might think, it's the only thing that I can do. I can be a hero or something like that.
Right.
It's bad, right?
It's terrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
It's terrible.
But I think it's, as you said, I completely agree with you on the fact that it's maybe a consequence of all the years where people have just scared everyone with stuff that are just not true.
I will look you right in the eye. I will
true.
literally look you right in the eye and say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Can I read a little bit more from his blog?
Yeah.
Because I think it's actually really important.
Yeah.
He writes, here's what I believe. Working towards prosperity for everyone, empowering all people, and advancing science and technology are moral obligations for me. I personally believe he believes that. I don't know Sam Altman, but I know people like he is. And he's a pleaser. He just is. I want to continue just a little bit. AI will be the most powerful tool for expanding human capability and potential that anyone has ever seen. Demand for this tool will be essentially uncapped, and people will do incredible things with it. The world deserves huge amounts of AI, and we must figure out how to make it happen. But the one last thing I want to say is he then writes, it will not all go well. But again, when Oppenheimer and the team that built the first atomic bomb in 1944 and 1945,
Yep.
we talked about this. I did a whole segment on this where I compared the two things to each other. They were afraid to test because they weren't sure what was going to happen to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It was scary for them. Like, it could set off a chain reaction.
Yeah. That's what I was to say, yeah.
But we have to do this. They did it. No, again, a lot of people died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay? My family's from Nagasaki. My father-in-law,
It's from there.
was in a tree as an 8-year-old boy and saw the cloud.
Oh, wow.
So I've spoken to him about this.
Okay.
So I wasn't there. I was also at the 50th anniversary of Hiroshima.
Okay.
I went and sat in the August heat and listened to like a big presentation in Japanese. But the point is that like not all technologies are used for good. But then again, nuclear power is the cleanest, most efficient power out there.
Yep.
It powers submarines, it powers whole cities, it powers whole countries.
France is one of the number
Is
one.
what is the number one user.
Yeah.
So it will not all go well.
Yeah.
But if you're aspiring to do something great, there are bumps in the road. And I think one of those bumps in the road should not be, I'm going to try to kill you.
Nope.
This is just completely unacceptable behavior. And I will say this too. If you have a platform, you have a responsibility, right, to do responsible reporting. Every time you flame the fire, you can't go to bed at night thinking, I had nothing to do with that.
Yep.
Because you did.
Yep. No, it's true. I think it's really important that when you have a platform like we have, for example, right, to give all the different side of the story, right? Like
Yeah,
you need
exactly.
to be able to say, okay, maybe some people think Sam Altman is not good, but some other people think he's really, really good as well, right? Like
Right.
you get to be more balanced, but that drives less click, Michael. That's like
It is, but we talk about this all the
That's
time.
the sad part of the media
Of
world
the media business. We
today,
talk about
right?
it all the
It's
time.
like,
Do you have integrity or do you not have
Yes,
integrity?
Yes. That's why, like, when you are independent media, as we are, right? Like, we can be much more independent in
Yeah.
terms of how we cover the story, what we
Right.
talk about, and but unfortunately, a lot of these legacy media, those people who have like massive exposure, but also different shareholders with different incentives, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They may push the narrative into just one direction.
They don't care.
And that may be what happens to that's what's happening to Sam Altman right now,
Yep.
right? And unfortunately, that leads to this because no one talked about the all the other side of AI, all the good side of AI, and people outside of the bubble, they don't see that part.
No.
They just see the scary part.
Right. And they're not reading
And-
Mark Andreessen on
No.
Twitter. They're not reading Aaron Levie on Twitter. They're not
Yeah.
reading all these things and thinking, oh,
Yeah.
wait a second, and we'll get to this later. We're not going to lose our jobs.
Yeah.
We're just going to do different jobs. And in every tech cycle, again, we've talked about this, right? But in every tech cycle, something gets invented that says every accountant is going to go out of business. And they just do more business
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they have more tech.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else?
Nope, no on this story. No, I hope it's just gonna slow down, right? Like that's the only thing that I really wish. If there's an orchestrated plan against Sam Altman right now, right? Like maybe they are going to get to a point and maybe we will know like what was the end goal.
Right.
And let's see if the only goal is to, I don't know, get him out of OpenAI or something like that, for example, then
Right.
be it, right? Like if that can stop this type of crazy thing. But yeah, let's see how it goes, but hopefully it's slow down.
I want to make one more point.
Yeah.
So again, I listened to Ronan Farrow and Andrew Morantz. Why can I not remember this guy's name? I feel bad for him. Yeah, Andrew Morantz. Talk about this article that they wrote.
Yeah.
And they said, we started with no premise.
Okay.
We didn't start with the premise of Sam Altman is bad.
Okay.
We started with the premise of Sam Altman is important
Okay.
and what is going on around him.
Which is true, right?
What are the things that are happening?
He's very important. Like.
But so I don't think that they were necessarily operating in bad faith.
Okay.
But in the context of everything else that's going on in the world, why did they pick this topic to write about? Right? You want to do investigative journalism. Why not do investigative journalism on stuff that's going to help people out, not that's going to hurt people? Right?
Yeah. Also, like,
Because at the end of the day, what if they wrote a story? What if they went into OpenAI, and all the people surrounding Sam Altman were just like, "Dude's amazing.
yeah.
Dude's unbelievable.
That's exactly the problem.
He watched my cat when I was on vacation.
Because then there's no story.
He watched my cat, right?
Yeah.
I'm dating his cousin. The whole family's amazing. We were at their house for Passover. Like, all these things were amazing. He's just an amazing guy. They wouldn't have written the story.
There's no story.
There's no story.
There's exactly the problem of modern media right
That's
now,
my
right?
point, though.
If you say to the public, this guy is amazing, he's so nice,
Right.
nobody cares.
Because no one in the New Yorker
But-
is going to want to read that article. Maybe that's
Nobody.
People Magazine would write
Yeah.
that. You know, does that even exist still? But I
Yeah.
want to make the point. They
Yeah.
said they went in with no agenda.
Yeah.
But once they got the information,
Then
they had to make a
it.
decision.
Yeah. You're right. That's a very good point.
And maybe the way they present, like, you could say that he's bad, but like now you're fanning the flames of a fire that you know is already raging. Anyway.
And once again, if during your investigation you find that actually is amazing,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't want.
You would never publish this.
And so then, what does it say about your agenda, right?
Right,
Like,
because you have no clicks.
Because you actually want a crazy story, otherwise you are not going to get the clicks and the attention that you want. Basically.
Anyway. Okay, so we also are going to talk about Meta built an AI Zuckerberg. They just will not give up on the metaverse.
So yeah, very different story. Different vibe.
Very different story.
Very different vibe. Let's open this one. So Meta Meta is building, they are actually doing it, is building a photorealistic AI version of Mark Zuckerberg that can engage with employees. And it's part of a broader...
Which is weird because Mark Zuckerberg himself doesn't feel photorealistic. Sorry, go ahead.
But so it's part of a broader push to remake the company around AI. But you're right to say that with all of their history with the metaverse and the avatars and stuff, it kind of sounds like, okay, we're going to reuse a lot of stuff that we have to this
they're
thing,
not giving
right?
up on this.
That's right. They invested so much money into the metaverse, right? Like into building like the avatars and all of that. Like... if we can find a cool exit, at least for the investors, hey, look, guys, it was not all bullshit, right? Like this thing is the use case.
Right.
That would be nice. But so the company has been developing photorealistic AI-powered 3D characters that users can interact with in real time.
In real time.
Yeah, and that's according to the Financial Times. The AI Zuckerberg also was personally helped, trained, and tested by Mark Zuckerberg himself.
Otherwise, what are they doing?
But yeah, so like when I saw that, when I read that news, I instantly thought about the episode that you did, Michael, with
Sean Cross.
With Sean Cross from Napster,
yep.
Where he mentioned that their CTO at Napster is exactly doing this, right? So
they've created a digital twin.
Yeah.
So I want to put this in context.
Yeah.
The way Sean described this, I went back and I looked at this episode. That was on March 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like a long time ago. Because we publish every day, but it wasn't that long ago, time-wise, right? Sean Cross, by the way, if you haven't watched this episode, you should go back. He's the president and co-founder of what I'll call the modern Napster.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the same Napster as it was before, but the name is just so great.
They bought the brand.
They just bought the brand and bought the thing. And
they rename.
Good for them.
Very good for them, yep.
That was episode 31. But in his description, this digital twin actually sits in a meeting in a weekly Monday stand-up, gathers issues from 140 people, and produces a fast executive summary, all built around memory, context, and guardrails. And in the meta thing, as you said, the reported idea is that this AI version of Mark Zuckerberg will be used for internal interactions.
Yep.
And it makes these questions about like governments and leadership actually really, really important. So like you have to ask yourself, and I'm curious what you think, what is the real job of the avatar in any kind of weekly meeting?
So
what's the job?
So for me, the first time that when I heard
can I say one more thing before you answer?
Sure.
It's interesting to me that the CTO of another company is already doing this.
Yes,
this is already in production.
Yep.
They've been using this for a while. Because when we talked about it, the way Sean spoke about it was like, we do this thing.
Yes, we do this.
And we can help other people do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
And when I heard that for the first time, like listening to our own episode on AGTP, I was like, this is such an amazing idea.
We talk to the most amazing people.
Yeah, I love
We really
this.
do.
Yeah, really do. And actually, the CTO of Napster may come on the show as well. Like we still told to them.
He's going to be on the show.
And he wants to be on the show.
Yep.
We just need to find the right time for everybody. And we don't want his AI avatar, we want him.
Yeah, I don't want his avatar.
So he may come on the show, and so we may ask him the questions directly. And now that actually Meta is actually saying that they are doing that as well, it may also shine more light on what they do, right? It may also help them a lot from an awareness
because Napster's
standpoint.
been doing this for longer.
Yeah, for longer. They already use it, and so that's really good, I think, for them, this type of story.
Agreed.
But so when I heard that for the first time, I was like, this is such a great idea. Because I think the goal when you implement an AI avatar like that, as a way at least I would see that, is that I think it's hard for people into a group meeting to actually raise their hand and say, actually, Bob search, or actually, I have an idea, but I'm scared to say it.
Yeah, it's weird because I would do this all the time at work.
Yeah, you would do that. But especially in Asia, right? Especially in
Asia, it's impossible.
Where people are not going to.
They have the ideas.
They have the ideas.
They have all the ideas.
They know everything.
But they don't know how to do this.
They will never stand up and say, "We are going to save it," right?
Yeah.
So maybe in the Western world, people would do that more, but still, Brazil, I think you don't get all the information that you would need.
Yep.
But in Asia, it's even worse. Nobody is going to raise their hand and
So why
say
does the
something.
avatar make that better?
So because then you have a one-on-one conversation with the avatar that can actually, to whom you can
Right.
speak.
So what they do is they
Yeah.
let. It's not 140 people in a meeting room at the same time.
Yeah, it's all
We should
one
be
by one.
specific about it.
Yeah, that's true.
They have individual meetings every week, so it feels like
Yeah.
to them like they're talking to the CTO.
Yes.
And then that CTO avatar then summarizes all this stuff and creates a report for the real CTO,
real CTO.
who's like, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that thing was broken. We should fix that.
Exactly. And time-wise, the CTO cannot speak to 140
No,
people.
and they're not
every week.
embarrassed
It
by the
makes no
guy
sense.
sitting next to them. Like, that's the dumbest question in the world.
Exactly.
Right.
So now you can actually scale yourself on the information gathering part,
Mm-hmm.
right? On a super large scale basis. So like Mark Zuckerberg to do that at a very, very, very large scale. The CTO of Napster can do it at 140 people, which is already huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is impossible to do right now without tech. And when you can do that, I think it will unlock a whole new set of information that you can access to. People will be able to speak to you, suggest ideas, and explain to you a problem. Maybe we can even imagine, because now AI can be AI agents as well. We can maybe like do stuff as well.
But wait a second. This is a good question, though.
Yeah.
Do you want that avatar actually doing things? In other words, what's the line between?
I think that's the next step. Huh?
But what's the line between like being a productivity tool,
Yeah.
which is perfectly fine in my mind,
Yeah.
to then being like, I don't know, like a substitute for the guy?
I think this is the next step. If it's easy, like you can have a line of like everything that's below this line, the AI avatar does it directly.
Yep.
And and everything that's above this line, you just report to the CTO. But look, if my AI avatar knows that my system has just like little issue there, just fix it. Like don't bother me with that, right?
But what about testing? Like, so
So yeah, of course, that there's over implementation that needs to be done. But
Right.
I see very, very easily that when the CTO gets a lot of information, way more information than before, is going to be thinking like, wait, all of this info here, you can just fit it yourself, because my AI agent is getting good. Is actually able to act on that simple stuff. Just do it. And so
So I have another question for you.
yeah.
How do employees know? Like, if it gets really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do they know if they're talking to the real Zuck or the Av Zuck?
I mean,
Do you know what I mean?
that would be funny that at some point it gets so good that this is a real question. Yeah.
Well, there's this whole philosophy. That like all of us are just living in a simulation.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we know we're not Avatar? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to go there today, but at some point the technology is just going to get really good,
Yeah.
right? So then, how do you know who you're talking to?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's see. But I think this is definitely the first step towards having more AI agents who are able to act, and then make them able to actually gather the information that they need to actually be able to act something, right?
So this is actually really interesting too.
That's the first step. That's the first step.
So what's the second step?
So the first step is what they are doing right now.
Yep.
They use the Mark Zuckerberg, but just as an MVP, I would say, right? That's just like the headline. But then if that works for Mark, like that's not the real leverage. I think the real leverage is the CTO of Napster, for example, who don't need to know a lot of the lead. It doesn't need to act on all the little stuff, and then all the meat stuff, and then maybe the important stuff as well. So then the CTO can really focus on CTO type of stuff and augment himself
Right.
with AI.
So now we're talking about just like what's happening in a meeting,
Yeah.
right? For like issue resolution and stuff like that. But what if it gets more usage, where literally like it's actually doing stuff and interacting with people on a more regular basis? What happens if something goes wrong?
Yeah. So
You know what I mean? Who's responsible for that, and how do you correct it?
Yep. So that's like all the challenges with AI agents that we are seeing right now, right? So I don't say it's going to happen right now,
Right.
But now they are building the information layer for the AI agents to be able to pick up the information. And then it's very simple. It's not simple today, but as soon as you have AI agents into your organization, and you know how to handle governance, verification, like what if something goes wrong, then you just connect the two systems together, and now it becomes super powerful, right? So
Right. So, but the idea is that people get to interact with not just Zuckerberg, right? Because there could be other executives in the company that will use this technology, right? Like I can't talk to 700 people in my team, but I can listen to 700 people speak, have them talk to me as an avatar, and then I can consolidate all that information, summarize it, come up with the top 5 points, and then I can go to the individuals that are there and say, hey, Bob, I saw that thing you said about that thing. We should fix that. Can you work with your team to get that thing done? But what if during the interaction, because the avatar's not just sitting there going, yep, like that would be dumb, right? Because you want to make it kind of interactive, and they say it can interact in real time. I know because I did a segment, I think, with a guest who said that, maybe it was the Napster guy. Maybe it was Sean who was like, no, our avatar can look and know like what mood you're in.
Okay, wow.
And can adjust its own risk. Because what happens if the avatar doesn't understand your mood and like kind of gets the tone wrong? Or does it? Because if I talk to you about something, we talked about this too.
Yeah.
But think about this, it's a little bit more. You and I talk to each other every single day. And sometimes you'll say something to me like, you know the thing we talked about yesterday? And I automatically know what you're talking about. Because I have the context of all the conversations, and I know the thing we just discussed just before you mentioned it. And I'm like, oh, you mean that thing about that thing? And you're like, yes. But what if the avatar gets the context wrong too?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So this is the challenge that you have to solve from a tech standpoint.
I know.
Like how do you handle emotions? How do you handle English accent? How do you handle maybe the avatar? Actually, maybe the AI that powers the avatar is maybe hallucinating sometime, right? So like not all the information is super accurate.
Right.
So it's like all the problem that you have.
We're going to talk about that later too.
Yeah. So that's all the problem that you have to deal with today if you want this type of tech to work. But the day that you get that to work, so you find solutions to all of these things, I think it can be super powerful. So there's no certainty that it's going to work, right? Like the only use case that we have is the Napster use case, and they say, hey, it's actually works, and we use it, right? So that's super great. Then I would tend to believe that it's doable, but as you said, like, there's plenty of challenges that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
But let's see. But if it does work, I think it's really, really cool for a company.
Right. I mean, one of the other things we need to talk about is accountability. Maybe it's like my avatar said that. Like, I didn't say that. I wasn't even there when it happened.
For sure. I mean,
kind of thing.
Yeah. But also like, if this works, I think there's like plenty of other use cases that you can do. Like just customer support first.
For sure.
Right?
So this is where I'm trying to remember if this was the Napster conversation or some other conversation.
Yeah.
But they said they have like 90-something% accuracy around understanding like the mood of the other person.
Okay.
I think they said they have 9 different things that they check.
Okay.
9 moods or personalities or something like that, where they're like, that person's not happy. And they change the tone of their own conversation to try to make the person happy in the midst of their customer service.
Okay.
This is going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen, right?
It's going to happen because it's way too efficient not to have it.
For sure.
It not happen. Yeah.
For sure. It's super efficient, right? So that's why I feel like this is just like the headline of like a big thing. Like, okay, Mark Zuckerberg is doing this, but once again, I think that's just the MVP to just build the tech, see how things goes, find all the solution to all the problems, and then let's deploy that like more broadly. So actually, Napster, that's their product, right? To do that, right? Like Meta should actually go to Napster and buy their stuff, and that would work now, right?
Can we get like a calm on this? Some kind of commission?
But so that's also like hint to Facebook actually building this, right? Like I don't think Facebook is doing. I mean, Meta is actually building this. I don't think they are going to do to Napster and buy that. They are just going to build the tech, right? So
now you've got a massive tech team, right?
So now you're potentially talking about like one of the largest company in the world building like something that can be really, really cool. And maybe with all the investment that they have made into the metaverse and all the things that they learned from there, and I don't know what they can grab from there to this, but it doesn't look too far away to me, right? So maybe there's some stuff that they can shortcut, maybe stuff that they can reuse. It doesn't look too far to me.
How do you think an employee would feel if they're like, I have a meeting with Mark Zuckerberg? They get kind of excited, and then they show up and it's the avatar.
You get to tell first. You get to say you have a meeting with avatar Zuckerberg with AI.
Yeah, but let's say it becomes so effective.
Yeah.
That like he just stops showing up.
Yeah.
To meetings.
Yeah.
Right, because he doesn't have to be there.
Oh, that doesn't talk to the investors anymore.
Right. But then here's another issue that I was thinking about. the way management structures work, right, is I report to you, you report to some other person. That person reports to some other person who reports to Zuck.
Yep.
Right? So what do we need you for it now?
Yeah, so that's exactly what Jack Dorsey was explaining into his article.
There's a certain level of layer of middle management that's like your only job is to manage up.
Yep. And so if that is your only job, then maybe we don't need you anymore, right?
We don't need you to do that anymore.
Yeah, right. We don't need you to do that anymore. Maybe you should do another job at the company, right? Because... But this is part of the same story to me. This is exactly part of the same story, right? Like now, what it hints to me, this type of stuff, is that they are once again building that's the information layer for the AI to actually get the information, and then let's see where this is going to be deployed. But the possibilities are huge, definitely. Like from the top CEOs to the CDOs to the middle management to customer support, like client facing. I think that to every layers of your organization could use something like this. And yeah, if they can make it work. Like for example, we had an idea on how to use the Napster tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we still told to them about that. So we are not going to share it.
We should patent it.
But that's why even us at our scale, we had a different use case if the tech works. So that's why I'm thinking
if it works really well.
If it works really well, there's plenty of new use cases that we don't know yet.
Right,
that's
that we
why
could do.
That's just the MVP right now.
Right.
That's going to be very interesting to watch the development of that. I think.
Yeah, I just wanted people to think about these little issues because I think all of them can get solved at some level with more testing, more technology and stuff like that. And I think the back end, it's going to be interesting to see what the back end is. Yeah. We keep hinting at this idea that we're going to talk about LLMs and whether they're actually the be-all and end-all for artificial intelligence. We will get to that segment.
Yeah.
But I would keep that in your mind when we're talking about that later, that the artificial intelligence on the back end is going to have to be really robust, and it may have to be different.
But actually, I'm thinking about something like, what is the real value of this? If you have this AI Zuckerberg who can talk to all of your employees and then gather information, the real value is all the information gathering.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't really care about
because you wouldn't know most of it.
Yes,
it would die in every because if I never have a chance to talk to Mark Zuckerberg, right, or if I have once every quarter to talk to him, there's stuff happening every day or every week that he should know.
Yeah,
and there's no way to consolidate all that information because he can't meet with everybody.
Yeah, so that's all the information gathering that's going to be super useful. So which means that if we really want to build that, we don't need a beautiful face with a nice smile.
No, we don't need it at all. Actually,
and super quick. Back and forth.
Right.
What we need actually is just a way for every employee to lodge something, and then when we receive all of this information, just a way to treat the information at a massive scale.
Right. So, but this gets back to my idea of the metaverse, really.
Yeah. So that's really what we need, right? Then the AI avatar makes it more fun. That's same thing with the AI agent when people give them a picture, a profile picture, a name, and all of these things. It makes them more fun, but at the end of the day,
it doesn't make it more useful though.
They are still doing the same thing, right? So maybe that's also
my oven at home doesn't have a name, but it's super useful.
Yeah, exactly. But
my microwave.
If you paint something on him, and then you make him paint and give him a name,
it looks like a chef or something, or it speaks French to me or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't make it any more useful. It just makes it funnier.
It's not going to be any different, right? But here, if we really want to build the information layer, we actually don't really need the AI avatar part. I think it just makes it more fun. But the real tech is in gathering
data gathering.
All of this data gathering, all the data. Also, how we're gonna handle all this data, right? How we're gonna handle that. Made the summaries. 70,000 people would just give you a short paragraph of information.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about 70,000 short paragraph of information.
Yeah.
So even if you do a report to Mark Zuckerberg, if your report is a book of 500 pages, because you have 2,000 that are interesting,
right?
That's still too long. You can't do
He's
that.
He's never going to read it. He doesn't have time to read it. But so, if you can teach the AI as well, because some people are just going to have BS ideas.
Yeah.
Everybody in the office should have a dog kind of thing. It's just I don't even want to hear that.
Meta loves big ideas, just like the metaverse and try and throw a lot of money at it and then see how it goes, right? We love that type of stuff. So maybe we're going to say, done, this one guy.
But I think you're right. I think the end game here is that it creates a whole host of really interesting data that wasn't collectible otherwise.
Yep.
But that segues really nicely, actually, to our next topic. right? Because everybody and their brother wants to, because it just creates so much data.
Yeah.
But where does that data sit?
Yep.
It should sit in a data center somewhere, and it should sit in an AI enhanced or enabled data center as well if you really want to have access to that data and be able to make decisions about it. We've heard a ton of news over the past, I don't know, 6 to 8 months, 6 to 7 months, let's say, about massive data center construction in the United States. One of the things that I referenced actually in one of my shows was there are plans to build more data centers than office space in the United States right now. But what's going on?
But yeah, no, it's true. Like we need data centers for more AI compute. We need data centers for more storage. We need data centers to grow AI. The US wants to be the number one AI player in the world. Right? So they want more compute. But it's not that simple to build the data centers. And according to Bloomberg, so they reported that on April 1st.
On April 1st.
Yeah, it was not like an April Fool, just like a real report from.
Can we ban April Fools as a thing? Like, why do we even have to think about that?
Plus, it's global. There's not a lot of like dates that are doing something globally. I was thinking.
Is it a global thing?
I think it's global. We do that in France. We do that in Asia. We do that in the
US. Do Japanese really prank people? Oh, they do. They love pranks. Sorry, what was I thinking? Yeah, they love pranks. Anyway, go ahead.
So, according to Bloomberg, between 30 and 50% of all US data centers planned for 2026
plan to be start construction. Yeah.
Yep. Will be either delayed or cancelled entirely.
So late, I understand.
Yeah, cancelled.
But actually, cancelled makes a certain amount of sense because if you're not going to start it now,
then when?
But also, when you do start it, stuff could change.
A lot of stuff could change.
6 months from now, may not be in the same situation as we're in today.
Yeah.
And new chips may be out, new everything may be out, right?
Yeah,
so what are you ordering? What are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you building? Sorry, go ahead.
So I don't know how long it takes to build a data center, but I don't think it's 6 months, right? It must be like a pretty long time. And during this time, as you just said, if there's new stuff that are coming up,
2 years.
How does that work? Yeah, 2 years.
2 years, because normally it takes in the United States, it takes anywhere between 2 years and 3 years to connect a data center to the grid.
Okay.
So they build it out, so it takes like 2 to 3 years to build. So then you can just connect it to the grid when it's ready to go, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, before we go to the reason on why we have too much problems, what is the scale of the problem? First of all,
the scale of the problem.
Yeah, there is between 12 and 16 gigawatts of data centers capacity currently planned.
12 to 16 gigawatts, you said. Okay.
Yep. And only 5 are actually under construction right now.
Oh, God, so a third.
Okay.
A third. Do I have that right?
Yep. So which means like 12 to 16. So it's half to a third.
Fair
right?
enough. Yeah.
Many projects have been announced, right? Like we saw a ton of them.
Everybody and their brother wants to build a data center.
But a lot of them have zero physical progress, 5 to 12 to 16. Even the 500 billion Stargate project was done with OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, has reportedly stalled in their Texas sites.
Yeah, this was meant to be built in Texas.
Yep. And actually, they say that they even like dropped plans for these mega Stargate data centers. At first, it was planned to get like a 2 gigawatt data centers, and now they're actually told to cap it at 1.2.
So almost half.
It didn't even start yet. Right. So if you didn't even start it, you already cut in half.
There's so many. Many like second order things that are taking place here. Go ahead. You want to say more stuff? Yeah.
So that's like for the what's happening part, right? Like just so you have an idea of like the scale and actually what is happening. So then why it's happening? So first of all, global chip shortage for AI data centers. That's one of the main problem.
We've been talking about this for weeks.
Yeah, massive chip shortage all around.
But not just GPUs.
Yeah, not only GPUs. So they have of like every type of chip that you would need, and plus the cost have also increased a lot. Like for example, this article of Tech Radar reported that the memory. Let me find it where it is exactly, so I can show you. The cost of memory have 5x since Q1 2025.
In a year.
And the cost of storage has 3x since Q1 2025. So just think about it, 5x and 3x.
So hard to drives.
Yeah, so drives and memory like RAM, right?
Yeah.
So this was actually...
RAM has gone up 5 times.
5 times. in just 1 year. So when your cost goes up 5 times, we're not talking about 20% or 30%, we're talking about 5x, right? So it's like huge increase of cost. And plus storage also 3 times. Now talking about like a huge increase across the board, right? And maybe other stuff as well that's more expensive. So that's one part of the problem. Like all of these components that we need are just getting more and more expensive, which, by the way, we talked about that on Friday last week. There's a lot of innovation in GPUs, innovation in CPUs, nothing yet in storage.
Right.
So I think that's the next.
Can I add a point in here?
Yeah.
I did an entire show this morning, ATP Insights.
Okay.
One of the top stories there was TSMC, so Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, one of the biggest manufacturers of chips. Okay. Right? They manufacture for almost everybody. They're in the process of building fabs now in Arizona. It takes 2 to 3 years for those to come online as well. They can't, and their customers are ordering chips from them 3 to 5 years out.
Oh wow!
Okay, so this gets back to that whole conversation we're having about, are we in a bubble in the AI space? Well, maybe, but probably not. Yeah. And part of the reason why is that TSMC needs to build more capacity because demand for their products. They don't design chips, they just manufacture them. They're the best manufacturer of chips in the world right now, and the biggest, I believe. Okay. But I did some research on it. It does take like 2 to 3 years for them to put something online, to build a fab. And they cannot keep up with demand. Because their customers are going, 5 years out, I need to have chips. 5 years. So they can have complete confidence that the fab that they're building, do you know how much it costs to build a fab? Tell me. $10 to $12 billion. $10 to $12 billion. How profitable, like how much money are they getting paid to make these chips?
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's true.
And it's across the board. So it's Broadcom, it's Intel, it's NVIDIA. It's literally across the board. But the point is that the customers that are buying those chips have so much confidence that they're going to need them that they're ordering 3 to 5 years out. And, there's one more point, but I'll make it later.
So that's the first thing. Global shortage and like of chips and other components, plus super high price for everything. Yep. So makes things much harder. Second problem that these companies have to build data centers is that it's power grid constraints. 25% major of the planned projects haven't even disclosed how they are going to get power.
Right, they have to plug it in. Like, what are you going to plug into?
I think that's because they have no idea.
Right, they have no idea. But this is why SoftBank is going to spend $30 billion building power.
Exactly.
In the United States.
The power question is a real question. Also,
for sure.
Something that I found into these articles that I didn't think about, but I think is actually true. Grids are already under pressure from EV adoption. Right,
because they weren't built to handle cars.
And plus that's new right now. Now, like the Western world is being through like a whole transformation for their car industry, right? Everybody's going to EV.
Right. Didn't plan for that.
If they didn't plan for that to happen now, basically, right? Like it would have happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but it happened right now. Yep. And that needs electricity as well. That's EVs, right? And so now you're talking, you need more electricity for your AI, for the data centers, and also for these EVs, right? And so
it's because you want to drive to the data center to go to work in your EV.
And so that's why, like, it's just like a lot of things happening at the same time, a lot of demand for electricity happening at the same time.
Right.
And so that's another part of the problem. Third part of the problem, they have too much reliance on Chinese tech.
Who's they?
These big companies. A lot of stuff come from China. And
even in the AI space.
Even in the AI space. And the US alternative, they cannot scale fast enough. They are
like where though?
Sorry?
Like where? Why can't they scale fast enough?
So these the components that they need. For some of them, they still need to buy from China. They can't like manufacture everything in the US.
The electrical equipment, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so,
well, thank God there are no geopolitical problems either.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God.
Thank God for that. Because
China and US are best friends, right?
Best friends right now. Oh, you need more electrical stuff? No problem.
We are doing
we'll send it to you on Christmas.
To give it to you. Yep.
It's our present to you.
But so for the Chinese electrical equipment, like for electrical equipment, they still rely a lot on the Chinese. And that's also like creates a lot of problems because the US isn't able yet to manufacture enough of them. So, that's another problem. And then the fourth problem inside all of that is that there is people who are against these data centers.
Well, but why?
Because like environmental problem, noise, water, energy concern, rising costs for electricity for their home.
If they plug into the grid, they're going to outbid you for energy. Because that grid was not built to handle the energy for that data center. It was built to, for a small town in Tennessee. There's no problem, and the energy cost stays pretty stable because the usage stays pretty stable, and the what's the right word? The creation of that energy stays pretty stable. So your energy cost should not go up that much. But if one day some dude comes in with like an AI-enabled data center, he's just going to be like, you plug that thing in and everything goes haywire.
Yeah, exactly,
Right?
Yep. So that's like one of the
big
questions.
Even if they make jobs there, it's going to make everything so expensive. It's this weird balance, right?
Yeah. And some people are really scared of that. Like some people are really against. And I saw like some states in the US, they're just like, we don't want any data centers at all, because we really don't want the price of electricity, the price of power to just go up for everybody, right? So this is another problem that these companies are facing for building these data centers. That explain all of this delay and cancellation.
And there's one more thing. I mean, there's probably more than one more thing, but there's at least another thing that we should talk about. Helium, which is necessary for semiconductor manufacturing, aluminum, graphite feedstocks for lithium-ion batteries, and sulfur. Oh, those go through the Straits of Hormuz. Do I need to say anything else? Does anybody else need an explanation about why that matters?
It's really funny how like the global geopolitics can actually like impact tech.
So if you're actually intelligent enough to understand that like a globally connected world is actually good for everybody and good for business, this is one of the reasons why the post-World War II order has been so important for the increase of international trade.
Yeah, true.
And you can say what you want, that it's been imbalanced in growth in certain places. But as somebody who's lived outside the United States for the past 35 years, what I've seen is that countries that were poor before are now getting getting much wealthier because they plug themselves into the global economy. Right? So it's not beneficial for them to be disconnected from the global economy. So when literally, do you remember when that ship, I forget where it was, but there was this one massive delivery ship, I can't remember what it's called, went sideways inside one of these waterways. It took weeks to like fix it. I forget the name of it. Maybe it was called the Enterprise. I can't remember.
Okay.
But shut down the entire supply chain for the world.
Yeah.
So now the Straits of Hormuz, 100 ships used to go through it every single day.
And now like
4,
yeah. Yeah, so
these are all really important things.
Yeah, no, it's super important. And even if we just want to build our AI, we just want to build our data centers, we don't want to be connected to the geopolitics, we don't want to be part of any of the global things. Yeah, we just want to build our AI. We can't.
You can't because you have to be connected to everything.
Because you get to be connected to everything, and then you need the helium from there. You need like the chips from that guy. You need the electrical component from the Chinese. You need like to talk to so many people to make that thing happen, right? That every little thing is going to come in your way, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I don't want to talk about politics, but the bottom line is that isolationism for any large economy simply does not work. Yeah. Because you don't have all the components you need to build stuff. Yep. So think about TSMC, all of the helium that they need, all the other stuff that I just mentioned, they need to build chips. They've got orders 3 to 5 years out. When are they going to get helium?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true.
Right?
Yep. So
Taiwan has enough problems just dealing with their China relationship, which we could do a whole week's worth of shows on. But now with the Straits of Hormuz, it's along with all these other issues that you talked about that are real, right? But imagine what it does because one of the first things that you mentioned was the global chip shortage. Yeah. So if you can't get the helium that's necessary to make chips,
then it's all
it's all connected.
It's just compound, right? Because if we need if we need that thing for that thing and that thing for that thing, and then like we have like one problem in the Strait of Hormuz, for example, then that impact 3 or 4 suppliers that you need to make your to make your data centers. That's where the problem compound, because now you have problems everywhere instead of just one, right?
But also remember, let's just say that magically all of these problems get solved. It doesn't change overnight.
Yeah, no. You can take
right, because it could take weeks for a ship to get from there to Taiwan.
Yep.
Or to get to the factory in Arizona. right? So the problem isn't that like the reason why I think people should, we talked about this before we started recording, but people should like log onto the internet and just say, show me a moving graph or chart of all the ships in the world that are delivering goods.
Yeah.
And it would blow you away. In your mind, the oceans are empty.
Yeah. You know, maybe we can shut down all the small website that we don't need and just say like, okay, just go. You know,
okay, no one's going to your website.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's going to your website. I'm shutting it down.
I'm just like taking
I'm making an executive decision.
Your storage for the AI because Anthropic just bought everything and just.
Because those pictures of your dog are not helping anybody.
Don't care, right? Like,
nobody cares.
But imagine like that would be. I don't think we are going to do that.
Nobody wants to live in that world.
That sounds pretty insane. But from an economical standpoint, if I'm a data center, you know, and I have like ton of these guys who pay $10 a month, $20 a month.
What are we doing?
And Anthropic come in and they want like $1 billion data center.
Right. Let's give it to them.
Yeah, you know what? The picture of your dog, you can put them somewhere else. You can just put them somewhere else.
Post it on the wall.
Yeah.
In your house.
That would, exactly.
Send a picture, send an image to grandma in the mail. The mail's not that busy these days.
So maybe, selling printers is going to be a very good business.
Exactly. But you probably need some chemical.
Yeah, true.
To make the ink.
And but yeah, no, let's see how it goes. But the thing that's for sure is that the US really, really want to invest a lot of money into these data centers, right? They really want to be at the forefront of AI. They really want to be the number one, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And AI, as we said before, all the growth, all the new product, all the new model, they can be as fancy as they want. If they don't have the CPUs and the chip to run on, completely useless.
So some people think that Elon Musk has a solution to everything.
So that's what Elon Musk talked about, like 2 weeks ago or something like that, like very recently as well, when he did like this big keynote. And so I gathered some data about that, like once again, like just like compare things. But so I said there is 12 to 16 gigawatts of data center capacity currently planned.
Right.
And only 5 are actually under construction right now.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
When Elon Musk announced his terafab massive projects,
have they started digging for this yet or
so
no?
No. We just said that we are going to do it.
Is this the hyperloop of data centers? Do you know what I mean? It sounds like it.
But he said he wants 1 terawatt per year of compute capacity.
I think that guy works at Chubb in Thailand. Terawatt.
and so just for people who wonder, 1 terawatt is one. Yeah, that's a really tiny name.
Took you a while to get the joke.
Now I say it again.
Sense.
So 1 terawatt is 1,000 gigawatts. So that's 200 times what is currently being built.
Being built, yeah.
And 100 times what is.
But this is what he always does. He wants to put 1 million, satellites in space.
Yeah.
Where are they going to go? There's going to be traffic up there.
Yeah, and so I was double checking, but he didn't announce dates. He didn't say, hey, we want 1 terawatt by like that date. He just said we want at some point. But so his terafab project, what he want to do is he want to build the chip in this big new manufacturing fab.
Right.
And then he wants to get the power from the space data center. So that's the idea. That's how he wants to solve this problem.
Okay.
He wants to make the chip on Earth, and
we also know StarCloud, right, is also just raised $170 million to do a similar thing.
Yeah. To put the data center in space. But the ambition here to go to 1 terawatt.
That's what they call terafab.
Yeah, that's what they call terafab. When you have only 5 that are being built and it's hard to build them, let's see how that goes, right? But yeah, maybe that's the solution actually, to just build the chip on Earth and then put it into space.
But he runs against the same constraints that everybody else is running against. The materials necessary to build those, the inputs, right, to build those chips. It doesn't matter how big the factory is.
There's less people problem. People are not going to complain for noise because it's there, right?
But it's less than that. So again, where's he going to get the helium from?
Yeah.
Just really simple things.
Or the supply components, like it doesn't solve the problem at all. Yeah, maybe different components, but maybe not. Maybe there's some core stuff that he still needs that is going to run into the same problem as the.
Yeah, look, it's always great to have different ideas, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And like we can give like Musk a lot of reward for that, right? That he has a lot of new ideas.
Yeah.
And he
some of them work, some of them don't. Let's focus on the ones that do.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's why maybe space
1
is going to
terawatt,
be
200 times what's under construction right now.
200 times.
The one thing about Elon you cannot say is that he's not ambitious.
No, he's very ambitious.
He doesn't do small stuff.
No, he doesn't do small stuff. Which is true, to be honest, right? It's true to have someone who say, okay, we're gonna be a massive project, right?
Yes, like he takes a lot of flack because he's like, we're gonna go to Mars.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not.
Yeah, but if we land somewhere
But
else,
thinking about it
yeah,
doesn't hurt anybody.
no,
Right? It's like he's taken $3 trillion from someone to build a spaceship to go to Mars, and then he was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's true though, like massive ambition like this. At the end of the
I like
day,
it.
it's building things, right? Like I think like
Yeah, he's not doing nothing.
he reduced the cost of like launching rockets by a crazy amount, right? Like compared to what NASA was doing. He's giving internet to everybody through Starlink, right?
Yep.
So there's like some tangible things
some real stuff out
that
there.
are coming out of Musk.
But again,
goals.
so this gets back to the same thing we were talking about with Sam Altman. It's much more fun to publish articles about stuff that he didn't do,
yeah,
right?
no, it's true, yeah,
Right.
it's true.
To give him flack for the stuff he didn't do, rather than say, and it's not just him, it's everybody, right? But we're talking about him right now, so
Yeah.
it's very easy to say like, yeah, we're not going to Mars. That was a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, but Starlink does exist,
True, yeah.
and it
Yeah,
provides
no,
internet access to a bunch of different people in
Yeah.
places that never had internet access before.
So that could be completely
But it's not fun
calculated.
to write an article about
yeah,
that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So that's why that should be completely calculated from us, right? Like he's just playing a character to get all the media attention to talk about this big project, and now that's all free PR. That's great, right?
Exactly.
You just need to say something crazy. You know you are never going to eat it, but people are going to talk about
But
it.
also, he can't
and,
do everything on his own, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So having the idea, like even the Hyperloop stuff, right? Maybe somebody else will do it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's actually setting very big goals, big ambition, and then maybe someone somewhere is going to be inspired and then actually make something happen, right?
Exactly.
But I really wonder like how Musk is managing everything that he's doing, because he's managing really big projects. As you say, he can't do everything on his own, right? So I don't know, like how he handles the relationship with the top management, right? He must have a lot of people around him. I don't know how that works. I have no idea. But
I have ideas.
you have ideas?
I have ideas, not to be discussed on this show.
Okay.
Let's not go there.
But yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I just wanted to remind people that Musk has very big goals, like very, very big.
Okay. Let's do a little bit of Ask Us Anything.
Yep.
How does that sound?
Let's do that.
You're going to have to deal with this first one because it's en français.
It's in French indeed. So
I think you did this just to be funny.
en français.
En
Yep.
français.
So yeah, so
This next segment will be in French.
it will be all in French. So I hope guys you can speak French. But so yeah, so that was like the big news of the last few days to share with you. Now the Ask Us Anything part, we just want to share with you like some really interesting things that we have found online in the last few days.
Right.
So the first thing is this
Who is
project,
this guy?
this company that Romain Simon is currently building. So Romain is a French entrepreneur.
So he's building that company
He's the founder of
Yuki Capital.
UG Capital.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Got it. I did not make that connection, but I
And
got it.
so there's two interesting questions into this story. But first of all, let me explain to you what Romain Simon is doing.
Yeah, get the pronunciation right. If
Yeah.
you're gonna,
So he
I want some of
launched
this faux French stuff.
exactly.
Get it
exactly.
right.
So Romain Simon launched
Thank
a
you.
skill for AI agent to do your accounting for you, Michael.
To do accounting
Yeah, to do accounting for you.
for the French accounting system.
That's for the French enterprises, for the French. So yeah, that's for the.
And why did he
companies.
choose to do this thing in particular?
So I think he's French. He's in France, and the accounting, reporting, the tax in France
hard.
is super hard.
And complicated.
It's like so complex. There's like things everywhere. It's really.
So regular people, it's just hard for them to do it themselves.
Like for a business, I think it doesn't do that for regular people. It's not like for the personal tax reporting. It's more for the business
Yep.
tax reporting. It's
Yep.
really, really, really complex. There's laws everywhere. There's like millions of forms, like so complex. But so here, what he built is like a skill for your AI agent. So basically, you use this skill, you give it to your AI agent, and now your AI agent can actually do your annual reporting for you.
All in.
All in, yeah. So the thing that I think that is really fun is that there is like multiple jobs in France that can be linked to an accountant. Like, it's accountant and some things around that.
Got it.
Because once again, it's so complicated that we need more than just one job.
Really? It's like this guy does that part of it, this guy does the other part of it,
Yes.
then the last guy's like, oh no,
Yep,
this is the
yep.
hard part.
Yep. And he recreated a skill for each one of the different jobs.
Got it. How many are there?
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So comptable, commissaire aux comptes, contrôleur fiscal. That's like the different type of job that you may need when you do your accounting.
Got it.
And he created one for each one of those, which is actually pretty cool. Another funny thing is that he created one for contrôleur fiscal. I don't know how to translate that in English. Maybe you can help.
What does it
but
do?
that's the guy who come. That's when the IRS comes and check if you have been doing the right thing.
Oh, it's probably just an IRS agent or like a, what did you call it? Something fiscal?
Contrôleur fiscal, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fiscal controller. But yeah, that's when the IRS is coming and say, hey guys, I need to look at your books and just see like if you have done your accounting and your tax reporting right. And so he created a skill for that. And so your agent can actually simulate a control. he can actually go through the reporting and say, hey,
It's
look.
a tax inspector.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
So he built a skill for the tax inspector as well, which I thought was a good idea. So
That's funny.
So that's the fact. That's what he has built. Then the first interesting question is how he's doing it, right? So he's using France open data ecosystem, which is apparently pretty good. Actually, apparently France built like a whole API system to where you can connect to and get all.
When you
the
say France, you
information.
mean the government built this?
Yes, the governments, yeah.
Interesting.
Because like all the skill that I just talked about built by Romain are independent, okay? It just did that on
his own. But he had to use the
Yeah.
stuff that the government built to be able to do
Yes,
it.
to be able to
So
do
that's
it.
good.
And actually the government did that. And actually they have a team who not only build it but maintain it as well.
Yeah.
So
So,
for
this is
example-
just like in India, they built UPI, right? The Unified
Yeah.
Payments Interface.
Yeah.
They
So-
built it, but now everybody can use it.
Yeah. So now, that's really the same idea, but like to get the information about okay, what are the laws, how do I need to do my things, like also like if you need like some information about this company or that thing, it's all available through APIs. And now thanks to this agent, you can actually connect to them and get the data from there. So that's I think a really interesting use case. And the question here is actually, is France already ready for AI, right? Like, do
I
they?
mean, it feels like it if they're already out there building stuff.
It feels like, I mean, if they have given the possibility to entrepreneurs like Romain to actually build, like softwares on top of the data layer that they provide to you, that's exactly the conversation we had last week about Shopify, building the integration for the AI agent to do something into your Shopify store. That's what they announced last week.
Yep.
France has done that a few years ago to actually make that possible. And it looks like, to me, that's a very good initiative, and maybe France is actually thinking the right way when it comes to that, and they are already building things to be ready for the next wave of AI agents, and they are thinking about that, which I think is really cool. Yep.
Super cool.
So I think that's the first part of the.
But also, he's a one-man company.
So that's
this is the other
second
interesting thing
part
about this,
of
right?
the story. Yep. So that's the second part of the story, where like since AI agents have become more mainstream, right? And like at least for the people in the bubble like us, there has always been this myth of this one man, starter.
Because even that little one man company was like two guys. It was him and his brother.
Yes. The one from last week, right? Everybody, and plus there's a lot of weird things into the story, right?
Yeah.
But there's this big myth in tech right now where like, when are we going to see the first
unicorn from one guy?
Unicorn from just one guy and a team of agents, right?
Oh, yeah, impossible.
So before it was definitely not possible, but right now when you have agents who can do stuff, then people are wondering, okay, when are we going to see the first guy, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what Romain is doing with UT Capital. So he has one main show, but he has a team of agents. He has an AI CEO. And if you're interested, you can just go to his website, utcapital.com, and actually he documents the whole process. So for example, something that I found that was really interesting is that they did like a board meeting, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the AI CEO did a board review on April 12th, so yesterday, saying that now the AI CEO can run autonomously. So now he reached the point where his AI CEO is able to run autonomously, write code, ship stuff at 3 a.m., do a lot of stuff completely on his own. So yeah, he's documenting the entire thing. The app that I was talking about before to do the accounting is just one of the app that they have launched through UG Capital. They actually have an entire portfolio of different apps. So it looks like they are really trying to build a lot of things, find problems online, build stuff, and then let's see what works. Basically, right?
It's another benefit of not having any other employees.
Yes.
You just kind of wake up every day and just do the thing you want to do.
Yep.
Hopefully he's making some money from it as well.
So
he can eat.
Yep. I hope as well, because I think like the app that I was talking about before is called Papras for the accounting.
Yep.
I think it's free.
Does that mean anything?
Open source. Papras, I thought about it this afternoon. I was like, how do I translate that into English? It's more like it's a French word, like paper. That's all the paper that you have. Papras is like the bad word to say paper. That's the paper that you don't want.
Right. So I understand what he's doing.
So that's this paper there. Like,
right.
Do your papras.
Yeah. Got it.
That's this type of stuff, but it means paper. Okay, that's like the paper.
Yeah.
So that's how we called this app. It's free, so I don't know like how much money is making or not, but this app is actually getting some traction. More and more users are using it, and I thought it was like a pretty cool example of this one main company that is actually being developed. So super interesting.
And it's also interesting that it's happening in France. I feel like we don't talk about this enough, but like you and I talk about this offline, but like the French education system produces some really intelligent people and some really great products. Yeah, I think one of the only disadvantage we have in France compared to the US. The only disadvantage?
Yes, is not the education system. Like
no,
really
not at all.
The only different one that we have in France is that we are not motivated by money enough.
In the same way. But also, But also the tax system is not set up to facilitate building big companies.
Really hard. It's really hard to start something in
it's
a
just
very
not. We talked about
way.
It. It's not built to facilitate this.
In the US, people really want to make money. Like they're really motivated by making a lot of money and stuff. And at the end of the day, when you're really motivated to make money, at least you have one key metric that you target, and that's simple, right?
And you can tell if you're making money or not.
Yes, but then in France, we say, no, you know what? We want to build it for the environment, we want to build it for our employee, we want to do everything and make money maybe at the end.
Later.
Later.
We'll figure out the making money part later.
It's definitely not top of mind at all, right?
No.
But yeah, that's the only reason why I think we don't have more stuff coming out of France. But definitely, like, there's amazing builders, a lot of researchers as well. Like Yann LeCun, for example, who was at the head of the AI research at Meta. He left. He's French, and now he just launched his own company. Just raised $1 billion.
But he did it in the United States, yeah.
I don't know if he raised from European or French venture or from the US. But that's another example of a French guy who's doing something pretty big.
I mean, the French guy in our company is pretty smart.
Super smart.
I wouldn't go so super, but
yeah, no. So that's why I think that's a really interesting story. I think we are going to see way more of that in the coming months, in the coming years. AI is definitely helping entrepreneurs like us to actually build like faster, to like have more people like working with us at a much lower cost.
Yep.
So the phase from 0 to 1 that before were completely
is much faster today
on us, right? Now it can actually be augmented, right? So,
and I think this is the point that everybody's making. It's like you should. We talked about this a few days ago, and I want to get to the next topic in a second. But we talked about this a few days ago. Like, if you're a kid today, if you're like just graduating from college, you shouldn't even try to go get a job.
Yeah.
You should figure out a way to like build something.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be way more successful. You're going to live a better life. You're going to be happier. And rather than like selling your time for money to somebody else, you should spend that time trying to build something.
Yeah.
You're going to fail a lot. But if you do succeed, and you can survive, I think. Anyway,
I mean,
it's a better way to live. Okay.
I can only agree. To be an entrepreneur is definitely the best.
You want to talk about Alex?
So next topic for the Ask Us Anything. So it's a tweet from Alex Bouaziz.
Do we know him?
You talked to him like when? A few years ago?
A few years ago.
Was it on ATP or?
ATP.
On ATP, yeah. Super interesting episode.
Really smart guy. Very generous with his time.
Yep.
I really enjoyed talking to him.
So do you want to go through these tweets?
So I do, because this is something that I talk about all the time, but he thinks about this more than I do, and he's running a much bigger company.
I think they just hit like over $1 billion of annual
revenue.
revenue.
Yeah, I mean,
Huge.
he's building something really important. And this is also really close to his heart as well. Go back and listen to the episode on the Asia Tech podcast. I think it's from 2023. But if you just search for Alex Buzzi's Asia Tech podcast, you'll see this episode. It was really, really good. But I want to run through this because these are thoughts that I've had as well. When a company becomes more productive, it doesn't sit still. And he's agreeing with something that Mark Andreessen said, yeah?
Yep.
It goes after more customers, enters new markets, builds new products. Productivity gives you leverage, and leverage makes you want to do more, not less. I've talked about this all the time. What's the idea here? The idea is that if you're going to use any technology or anything and it makes you more productive, you're not going to say, that's perfect. We're done at this level of revenue, with this level of employees, at this level of whatever we're doing. We're just way more productive now.
Fine.
Let's stop. I want to go surfing instead. That's not what happens. No CEO, and this is, I'm reading again from the tweet, but no CEO in history has ever looked at a more productive team and said, great, let's get smaller. They hire more people. And that's what he's seeing in his data. Now, he's seeing this because what does Alex's company do?
Deal, yeah.
Right? So Deal essentially is, it disintermediates human resources inside of big companies. It abstracts it away and says, we'll handle all of your human resources stuff. So they have a ton of data on hiring and firing and just all that kind of stuff that relates to human resources. And he also says here, we also tend to forget that new tech creates new jobs and industries. Right? So you wouldn't need a project manager unless you were building more software. Somebody has to PM that stuff. A job title that didn't exist now demands 70,000 people. And for jobs that directly experience the productivity gains, demand should surge. We want more of these people.
Yep.
I say this all the time. If every employee is making, pick a number, $2 million a year, I want thousands of those employees.
Yep.
So I can make thousands of times $2 million a year. And if AI is helping to enable that, well, then we should use as much AI as we can. But it's going to lead to more hiring, not more firings. And sure, plenty of companies, and we've talked about this a lot, plenty of companies will fire people, right? But other companies will hire them back to do different jobs maybe, but they're not going to be jobless.
Yep. No.
They'll just do different jobs.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think like it's super interesting, right? Like what he shared. Also, like another idea is that, like this post highlights 3 examples of jobs who have seen like a huge increase of demand.
Yeah.
Like and these companies are like, and I mean companies globally are like, okay, we need to hire people to do that, right? So for example, Alex gave this example of AI trainers,
Right, which didn't exist 3 years ago.
which didn't even exist 3 years ago. It's like
Right.
it's a whole new job, right?
Right.
At the beginning of 2025, it's not clear to me if this data come from Deal alone or global data.
But they probably do a lot of data gathering anyway, so they can understand what the global HR market looks like or hiring market looks like, right?
But so I don't know exactly like what this number represents, but what's important is the growth trajectory, right?
Yep.
Where this job of AI trainer, there was only like 18,300 employed globally in 2025. And at the beginning of 2025, and at the end of 2025, 70,000 AI trainers employed globally. That's a plus 283% growth.
Yeah.
Huge, right?
So
and once again, a job that didn't exist 3 years ago. So
Exactly.
from 0 to 70,000 in like 3 years. And I mean, then we have other example actually, right? Like, so this is from Lenny's newsletter, a philo podcaster who does a great podcast as well. So he gave like 2 other example. The first one, AI engineering jobs that went same from a really, really big growth. A little bit less than 6K in 2023, and now at 15K in 2026. So we're like 300% growth for this job. And then the third example, AI PM, so AI product manager, went from just a little below 400 to now 1,200 in 2026. Same 3x growth in just 3 years. So yeah, that's what we say, right? Like the jobs are just changing, they are adapting. I think like you remember, Michael, I told you like two months ago, I told you that if we had much more money, I would hire an AI agent guy just to build the agent
yeah.
for every department of the company,
Right.
right? Like, because this is what we are doing a lot right now. AI agent can actually do a lot of things, and so
Yep.
to have somebody
I'd love
who
to have an
understands-
AI agent to do 60% of the stuff that I do.
Exactly. And so right now our capacity is just like it's us building the agent. And so
Right.
if we can hire one guy to build the agent and then to help everybody at the company, that makes a lot of sense.
Next quarter.
And because this, that would be straight. And then because this state is so new, like you can't have a 5 years or 10 years gap of experience because agents are like 6 months old, right? So which means like somebody who is super motivated, you can be one of the best OpenClaw guy in the world in a month.
Right.
This is the
You'd have to be because OpenClaw didn't exist.
Exactly. And so this is the huge opportunity we have right now in the job market, is that you can be the expert or in the top 1%, the top 5% of people globally super fast, just because there is nobody who have a 10 years lead on you, right? Because it's so new. And so if you're motivated, if you really want to learn something new, if you love AI, like right now companies like hire these type of jobs, right? Like we would hire somebody who know OpenClaw better than I do, right? So this is just another example of the change that we see. Then that to me makes a lot of sense.
I want to make one more point, and then we'll move to the next topic. Yeah. He's responding to something that Mark Andreessen published.
Yep.
And look, Mark Andreessen has a reason for doing this, right? He has an incentive to say this, but I don't think he's wrong. And his tweet was, the AI job loss narratives are all fake. AI equals a massive ramp in productivity, which equals a massive ramp in demand, which equals massive jobs boom. We always see this.
For sure. I mean, I think that's actually a perfect segue to the next one. We say everybody is more busy since AI, right? Like there's nobody who's like, okay, I have less job.
No. Way more to do.
Opposite.
Way more to do. Because the expectations for yourself are higher.
Yeah.
I should do more.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I should do more.
Yep.
Okay.
So you want to go through this tweet from Aaron Levy?
I do. It's a little. It's long, but I think it's important to go through. Right. So, Aaron, I feel like, and I've said this before, but I want to go through this again. He's very thoughtful, and because of his role and because he was the founder of Box, right? He's on the road meeting with dozens of like IT and AI leaders from large enterprises across like every vertical. So he's got access to a whole bunch of really important and really interesting opinion leaders, or just opinions. Okay, so just some quick takeaways, and I don't disagree with this either. It's clear that we're moving from the era of chat in AI to agentic AI.
Yep.
And we know this because we're talking about it all the time. But agents that use tools that actually get stuff done, not just that go out and get information. And this is what you were talking about like a couple of seconds ago, right? Is that you can build these agents to actually go and do things. And if you can, then you can become way more productive. But one of the other things that I hear all the time, and he's corroborating this, is that you can have all this new technology, and in a small company, you can just kind of implement stuff. There's no change management process for a company of 10 people.
Yep.
But in the companies that I worked when I was in corporate, like at Goldman Sachs, to implement like to just employ agentic AI across the board it's a huge change management task.
Yep.
Okay. And also just getting people to agree to change inside these big institutions is hard because there's so much risk. If it's working now and you're still making money and it feels good, it's very risky to do change management. And this is when you start hiring external consultants and all this other stuff. And change management is not something actually I think that agentic AI can do, right? And the other point he makes, and I was making this point actually this morning during ATP Insights, is you can employ agentic AI, but the tasks that you're applying it to were probably not set up initially to be agentified.
Yeah. It's true.
So now you have to change workflows too. This gets back to change management. How do you convince people across the board that now you need to rebuild a workflow and then we can attach agentic AI to it? And this stuff just does not happen overnight. This is going to become like a real big issue.
Yeah, and it's a massive risk as well, right? Because once, as you said, like if it works, then
because you have these legacy systems. If you just think about insurance, right? Sorry to interrupt you, but if you just think about insurance, the policy management systems that a lot of these insurance companies, and that's the core of what they do. They create a policy on a policy management system, and then they use that to do all these other things. That system could be 30 years old. But to be fair, even if it's 5 years old, it wasn't built with agentic AI in mind.
Yeah.
So a lot of these workflows are going to have to get rebuilt.
And this transition phase is really, really hard. It's
Really
super
hard because, again, the risks are
Yeah.
just so high. Because if it doesn't work,
Yeah. You waste time, you waste resources. Maybe you have this disruption into your product, into your services. Like, it's just a nightmare.
we did this actually at Goldman Sachs, not for insurance, but for the portfolio trading desk,
Okay.
where we had a position management system. So position management is almost like policy management. That's where every stock that you're long or short or flat sits in, right? Every piece of information sits there.
Okay.
And the system we were using was creaky,
Okay.
right? Really creaky. But you have to change it because if you want to trade really fast, you have to have access to that system in a way that's really fast and efficient. But changing it's scary
For sure.
because if your positions are wrong,
Now you have a much bigger problem
you have
now.
much bigger problems. So I understand why
Yeah.
the change management, particularly from an insurance industry, where like, again, if your position is wrong,
Yeah.
then you have much bigger problems.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
I don't know necessarily if I want to go through all these points, but this next one's actually really important. He calls it token maximizing.
Mm-hmm.
Tokens are expensive. They're not free. So every time you want to do an activity using AI, you have to pay for it.
Yep.
So how do you decide who gets to pay for it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to decide, what was it, 60 trillion tokens were used by Facebook
Facebook in a month.
in a month?
Yeah.
We said even if it's 1/10 that,
It's still huge.
it's still 6 trillion. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's
Like it's a
still
lot of tokens that get used.
And as he says, like, this is new budget, right? Like, AI agents are really, really helpful since
Yeah,
just,
they
like,
weren't in the budget.
3-4 months ago, right?
Right.
So if you do like your annual budget, like some company does,
Yeah.
there's no budget for that.
But it's also
right?
unfair.
So-
Let's say you and I are sitting on the same,
Yeah.
we have a similar role at the company.
Yeah.
And I figured out a way to like token maximize.
Yeah.
And you're still sitting there doing stuff manually, whatever
Yeah.
that means.
Exactly.
You're going to look like a bad employee.
Exactly.
And I'm going to look like a rock star.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to be like, hey, can I have more tokens? They're like, I
Yeah.
already used them all.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is going to be something that's, he's right. These operating expense budgets get locked in the year before.
Exactly.
And they're going to have to get renegotiated. But it's going to be, like, I like how he says they should have this Shark Tank kind of thing where people like,
You have to pitch something.
remember that episode of Shark Tank we watched where the guy does like that mystery theater
Oh,
or
yeah.
murder
It's
theater?
one of the best.
You
Shark
loved-
Tank
you
ever.
loved one
Yeah,
of these.
I loved it.
I didn't care for it, but the guy like fell down and died, and then had to decide who solved the murder, or
My
whatever.
favorite one.
But my point is that like that's what you want work to be like. It's not going to be exactly that,
But also, yeah, I mean, that's
but they're going to have to
probably-
compete for resources.
For sure.
It was true always. So my boss at Goldman Sachs
Yeah.
was constantly competing for technology resources. And I say this a lot, but I'll say it again. He won because he convinced management that he could take a business that was making $8 million a year and have it make $135 million. And we did do that. So at the end of the day, the resources, but he took resources away from other people
Yeah.
because he was like, that business is going to stagnate. This business is going to stagnate. I want that budget because I can turn it into money. And the same thing's going to happen in tokens.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like when you manage way bigger organization that have way more stuff going on, it's much harder than just like, okay, we're just gonna spend a little bit more money here. We're gonna, stop that and do that, right? Like in
No,
a
no,
small company, you can do that type of decision super fast.
Yeah.
But when you are at the scale of these banks or these insurance companies, or it's a very different story. I'd say it's much harder to have like an increase of budget, like the type of increase that they need to actually be competitive on the token side.
And
right?
part of the
So-
problem is it's not clear how much money they actually need.
Yeah.
Because how
Yeah,
much
it's
efficiency
not
is the
clear.
next token going to, the
Yeah,
marginal token going to
exactly.
give you?
Yeah. And then you have all the competition that comes in as well, right? Like what if my competitor figure out a better way to invest into that? And what if actually investing in AI is the thing to do to stay competitive?
Right.
But what if not, right? Like how do you manage this risk as well?
Yeah.
Like,
And remember, a lot of these AI, what was the number that we had? 90% of AI initiatives, whether they're agentic or not, fail. So you don't even know if you're using those tokens for anything that's valuable.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah. It's a real question. And then if you don't have the team to actually, there's also probably like the training part of it, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's why there are so many AI trainers now.
if the team doesn't know how to use it, if your competitor figure it out faster than you, if you need to train your team at the same time, like how do you handle all of that at the same time, right? Like it must be pretty intense, let's say, in the CFO office.
I want to talk about one more thing, because I think this is important, particularly in the context of change management. We hinted at it a little bit, but let's talk about it. He also mentions one of the things the senior executives that he's meeting are talking about is fixing fragmented and legacy systems. It's still a huge priority.
Yeah.
The thing is, as I said before, right, these policy management systems are things that are similar to that run on legacy hardware and software. Mm-hmm. They're core to like operations. They're really hard to change. But if you want to modernize the rest of your tech stack,
stop there.
You have to do that because that's not, you can't use agentic AI against something that's that slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And it's that fragmented as well. I mean, right? So you have to have a strategy there as well. Go ahead.
It made sense, right? If you have a car that doesn't fully work, you have the engine and the wheels first, right? And you start there and then
like you can't have a hybrid electric vehicle if your car just runs on gasoline.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the one structural change first. But actually, this is really interesting because if you can help, if AI can help you there and all of this legacy thing that you have built and are not functioning properly, but just good enough, this is a huge benefit that you can do, right? Like that's a priority for sure because like that's the biggest win for you, right? Like
Sure.
That's going to solve the pain point of so many people at the company, right? Like that all of this extra free click that you have to do because there is not the drop down that you would like,
right.
And that you do that like times 100
or 1,000
or times 1,000, and every day there's like this free stupid click that you have to do, but fixing them is just a nightmare. Now, if this type of stuff can be changed, I definitely understand that they want to prioritize this type of job because that can help the entire organization super fast, and that's definitely a huge win. Yeah.
So, in one more point.
Yeah.
One of the what sits inside these legacy systems, and I think this should be the last that we talk about today. We should save the other thing.
Okay.
It's just going to be so long.
Yes, true.
I think it's just going to be really long, and it's important. So I don't want to.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
let's do that. Yeah.
We can save the last one for tomorrow. So you have to come tomorrow to see.
You have to come tomorrow to see because it's important.
Yeah,
but it could be.
Yeah,
long. Let's keep it. But I want to point out one other thing because you talked about data earlier, right? This idea that like these agents are going to create all this other data.
Yeah.
But in this case, what the point he's making is that if you don't fix these fragmented, right, in legacy systems, you're not going to be able to give your agents, your agentic AI, access to so much of the data that they need. And now the other problem that you need to solve is how do I solve my data problem?
Yep.
Right? Because that's actually really important as well.
This is so true. Right? And this is one of the biggest advantage of rebuilding the SaaS that you were using before internally, because now you can just have your own data wherever you want and how you want. And you don't have any problem on integrating with the other guy, right? Like at our small scale, I've just rebuilt our CRM last week, just because I had to use the other CRM that what we were using before, and I had to use their system with their old filtering option, with their rate limitation on the API. I had to abide by all of their laws and regulations.
Because again, it's not built for you; it's built for everybody.
And it's built for everybody, right? And so then I was like, you know what? I'm fed up of your rate limitation of 400 people per hour. I just want to do that. I just want to do my own thing.
I just want to do my thing.
And it's really annoying. So let me just rebuild my own thing. And now that I have my own data layer with all our CRM, I actually thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I don't need to build any filtering option. I can just ask my AI how many companies I have that are into this type of criteria, because it's in my own stuff. And that's a huge advantage. Huge, when you are, like for us, it's very simple because we are a small company, but I imagine that times 1,000 today. But I imagine that type like 1 million, right? Like for like very, very massive companies, if we can just like take everything on-prem and then start implementing AI, would give them the proper data at every scale. This is like how you make the AI much smarter and much more efficient.
For sure.
I mean, smart is not the right word. It's more like having the correct input to actually be able to take
and that gets back
decision.
to this data thing.
Right. And then
if you don't have access to all the right data, you can't make all the right decisions.
Yes.
Okay.
I think like one more point that I liked
go for it.
in this tweet that is actually, I think, key and super important is the headless software dominated my conversation.
Yeah, tell me.
Enterprise need to be able to ensure that all of their software works across any set of agents they choose. They will kick out vendors that don't make this technically or economically easy.
So this is the API thing, right?
This is like, if I choose Anthropic, it gets to work with OpenAI after.
Yeah.
I don't want to be locked in.
I don't care.
I
don't care
into your system.
what your argument is.
I don't care about whatever, and that's good. I love that people want that goes into
Businesses
that
are getting
direction.
so much smarter about this, right?
Yeah,
They're just like,
for
you're
sure,
not
for
locking
sure,
me
for
in.
sure. Yeah.
Everything I use, I can use with everything.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me decide what my
Exactly.
suite is.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And this is good. I understand that it's super, super, super important. It's key. But I'm happy that we see that today at the beginning of the implementation. Right?
Yeah, because if it happens later, it's so much uglier.
It's so much harder. And so now if the big companies can put more pressure on Anthropic and OpenAI and all these guys to make sure that the transition can be easier.
It's like your mom and dad. Get along with your sister.
Yeah.
But don't care. Don't care.
Exactly. That's not my problem. You just put the problem on the other people, right?
Exactly.
And I think this is really, really good for us, that everybody in the world who are going to use AI agents, if Anthropic, OpenAI, all of the other guys make it easy to switch, right? Is just going to give us more power, put more pressure on these guys. But they still need to think that they need to release products, to release their innovation on the Anthropic and OpenAI side in a way that is interoperable. This world in a way where we can change, right?
Interoperable.
That world, right? And so that's why like they need to think about it, and that's the way that the clients want that. Exactly. It's a really good thing to force them to build their product.
That's
this
super
way.
important.
And that is super important. I'm glad this is important, just to make our life easier and less dependent on just one provider.
Okay. Let's end there.
I think we're good for today.
Okay. That's it for AGTP Daily. Thank you again for joining us. As always, give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our socials, on X, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. Let us know in the comments on all of these platforms if there's anything you'd like us to discuss. Ask us questions so we can answer them directly for you. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. My name is Michael Waits.
Martin Wonfort.
Bye for now.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.